All right, hello and welcome back. This is Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College, and we've been going over the App05 software package from MIT and Google, and so far we have done 4 projects. A very simple project called the All-American, where we changed the background color of our screen to red, white, or blue depending upon which button we pressed. The Boy Who Cried Wolf, where we just had an image and we had a couple buttons, and when you pressed one button you got the computer kind of cryptic, it's the wolf, and if you press the other button it said just kidding. Then we did a third project, and in that third project, which was called Hello Kitty Doggy, what we did was we created 3 buttons that we made into images. When we clicked the button that looked like a cat, it meowed. The dog, it barked, and the one with the dog and the cat together, it did both. Finally, we just finished up our project, which I called Rankin Plus, where we used a web viewer, and we could go either to Rankin Technical College's Facebook page, or Rankin Technical College's Twitter page, or Rankin Technical College's Google Plus page, or if we put in a valid URL, we could go to another page. Well, all of these different projects so far have had one thing in common. They really haven't used any logic. They've been very sequential in nature. Okay? They're only done a certain way. Well, we're going to change that now. In this 5th project, we're going to write the first iteration of a guessing game. It's a real kind of a common thing to do in computer programming, and that is to write some kind of a game where we will ask the user to guess a number that falls within a certain range. If the guess is too high, we'll let them know that it was too high. If it was too low, we'll let them know it was too low. And if they got it, we'll let them know they got it. All right, and then we'll refine that program again and make a version 2 out of it in our 6th project. Let's just stop it right there, and let's start. So I'm going to call this Guessing Game V1, version 1. There it is. Okay? All right, now there's a lot of different ways we could do this. I'm just going to show you the way that I did it. So I'm going to start by putting a label up here. Wow. And under the label, I'm going to put a horizontal arrangement, and in that horizontal arrangement I'm going to put in another label. Come on, I don't want layout, that's why. There we go. I'm going to put in another label, and after that label I'm going to put in a button. Come on. And under that, I'm going to put in another horizontal arrangement. And in that horizontal arrangement, I'm going to put in 2 buttons. And under that, I'm going to put in another label. All right, and then finally, underneath that, I'm going to put in an image control. All right, looks kind of ugly right now, but let's build it from the bottom up. This image that we see right here, let's give it a fill parent. In fact, to show it to you the other way, let's give it a fill parent width. All right, and a fill parent height. All right, so that's going to take up quite a bit of our screen. And then we'll rename it. We don't have to. There's only one image in here, but we'll rename it Image Logo. And we're going to put our logo there in just a minute. All right, let's go down and upload a file into there. Choose our file. And under Images, this will be our guessing game file. So let's add that. We'll add that picture. I found this online. It's a little hokey. The guessing 1 to 100 game, guess the same number that the computer has guessed. The number will range from 1 to 100. Okay? That's okay the way it is. All right. This label that's right here, we're going to do a couple things with it. First, we're going to bold it. Second, we're going to change the size to 20 pixels. Next, we're going to set its width to fill parent. And we don't need text in it right now, but to make sure we see that it's there, let's change the background color. Let's see, how about a cyan? That would work fine. And again, we don't need to put in any text. All right, so it looks pretty small right now, but that's okay. All right, that'll get fixed as we get going. The other thing we should do is let's change the name of it, and we'll call this label result, because that's what it's going to be. All right. Okay, then we're going to have a couple buttons here. First of all, let's come in and where we have these horizontal arrangements, let's give them a width of fill parent on both of them. Okay, so you don't have to do this. I think it's going to end up looking nicer as we go through here. Our first button, this button right here, is going to be called button check guess, because that's what we're going to do, is we're going to check the guess the user made. All right, and we will, let's bold the text that's in there and check guess. All right, and let's make the width, we'll use a percentage, and let's make it about 48%. All right, for our next button, which will be called generate new number, we'll again bold that, and we'll make the width 48, and we'll make the text here generate new number. All right, this is coming together. All right, our label right here, this is going to say enter a guess. So I like to make that quite big, so 22 pixels, bold font. Let's right justify it just because we can. And this will say enter a guess. All right. And let's see. I think we're gonna do something a little different here. This shouldn't be a button. I don't know why I would have made that a button. Okay, so I don't need that. But what I do want to put in there is a text box. All right, that text box is pretty big. So let's say that that is going to take up, I don't know. Let's also make that about 22 pixels, and we'll make it bold. All right, but let's make the width of that, I don't know. If it's 25%, that should be plenty big, I would think. And we'll take this label that we have, and we'll make the width of that fill parent, which should push that over. All right. Now maybe that's a little bit too big. So let's change that. Instead of 25%, let's make that about 45%. Now, how about right in the middle? How about 35%? I like that. There we go. All right. Now, this label, we can leave it the color it is, okay? This is going to be our title. So what do we have here? We've got label result, image logo, button generate new number, etc., etc. This text box, Let's change that to text box guess, because that'll be our guess. And this label, we've got label results, so why don't we make this label guess? Okay. And finally, the text that we have in here, first of all, let's make the background color. Let's change this also and make it cyan, so it kind of matches in there. I like that. Okay. Oh, I made the screen color black, or that color. I didn't want to do that. That wasn't right. Screen background color, I want to make it white. There we go. So right here for this label, background color cyan. All right. 22 pixels. Let's bold that. And let's put in there, let's take the width and make it fill parent. This is looking better. I like it. And we're going to take the text in there and we're going to make it say, guess the secret number. All right. And I think I'll center that. All right. This is looking pretty much the way that I want it to look. The only thing I guess that I don't like is that, and let's take the height on that. I wonder if I make that about 25 pixels. Is that going to be big enough? Yeah, that looks pretty good. All right, so I now have my interface created. Okay, so my interface has been created. I guess the only thing I really don't like is where it says enter a guess. I don't like that being gray. See, that magenta, does that match that? Probably not really. Ah, that's okay. Let's make it like that. All right. Doesn't look like much right now. But we have gone in here, added all of our components, renamed all of our components except that one, it looks like, which is going to be labeled title. All right. So everything here has been renamed. For the screen, I don't really need to have the title be visible when I run it. Okay? So right now, as you know, it's not operable at all. All right? In other words, if we go to run this, and we run this under the under the emulator, really nothing is going to happen when we click the buttons. But I do want to, just for completeness sake here, let's go in and connect. So we'll do a reset, and we will bring up the emulator, or attempt to. I just want to make sure that before I end this, because this is going to take more than one lesson, that before I end this, that everybody understands what it is we're trying to do and how we're going to play the game. Guess I should have started the emulator up earlier. I did not. I apologize in advance. So again, the idea will be when we run this, well, I definitely don't like the way that looks. So I'll have to change that hint so that gets fixed. But we will enter a number here. So let's say I enter 50 and I click check guess. And let's say our number was 66. We want a message that comes in here that says the guess was too low or something along those lines. Anytime we want to generate a new random number, we'll click that button. All right? So hopefully, at least, hopefully, all of that makes sense. So let's just, for our hint, we'll put number. How about just enter number? Enter number. Now, is that going to fix that problem that we had? That looks a little bit better. Okay. All right. So that's going to end it for right now. When I come back, I'm going to start writing the code for this, and this again will be the first time we're going to add some logic to the program. So I will be coming back and doing that in just a minute.